Hello there, everyone. Meteorologist Jim Dickey here with another edition of Tracking the Tropics. It's Friday. It's August 23rd. We are now in historically the most active portion of the hurricane season. Of course, activity peaking historically in early September and sort of right on schedule. Things are ramping up, at least a little bit, in the Atlantic. We, of course, had the third named storm of the season form earlier on this week. Chantal, still out there on the board, although it's a very tiny little disturbance out there. Tropical depression now swirling in the northern Atlantic. And then we have two other waves we're going to have to keep an eye on as we work our way into the weekend, both of which have a chance to spin up into storms 4, potentially 5, as we head through the next couple of days. Let's begin with Chantal. Again, a tropical depression. Not much to it. It's right in the center of your screen. So a little blow up of thunderstorms there. You can sort of make out the broader swirl in the atmosphere with that storm system. And this wind's down to 30 miles per hour, moving to the south and east. I'm not even going to show the track with Chantal. This is likely to fall apart over the next 24 hours. It's going to sort of spin out there in the central Atlantic here over the next couple of days. Wash out, impact exactly no one. What we like to call a fish storm here. So no further concerns with Chantal, if there ever were concerns. Closer to home, though, in the Bahamas, near Cuba, near Florida. We're watching this little blow-up of thunderstorm activity here over the Bahamas, a little disturbance in the atmosphere too. And this is being pegged by the NHC as having a high chance for development. Now, right now, the center of low pressure is actually just to the east of Miami, and I do think it's going to drift its way westward over the Florida Peninsula as we head through the next couple of hours here. Now, wind shear in and around this storm system still very strong. The combination of shear and land interactions with South Florida are going to help to keep this from coming together in the near term. Down the line, though, as this moves further to the north, this gets off the coast of the Carolinas, that's when I think this will have a chance to come together. And that's why the NHC has that development chance now at 70% in 5 days. And the next name up on the list, of course, would be Dorian. Now, here's what our one in-house model shows with this. Just to step you through this. Here's this morning again. You see the turning of the winds on this, marking that broad low pressure, that disturbance in the atmosphere. This model in particular has been very consistent on moving this across South Florida, even towards the Gulf of Mexico, as we work through the day today into our Saturday. And again, because of land interactions, because of high shear, I don't think this comes together just yet. So you're going to see this low in the Gulf of Mexico. I don't think this is a named storm at this point in time, anything like that. But do note, all of that rainfall helps to kick up as we go into the afternoon, evening hours today. The rain that will stay in place as we go through Saturday sort of swirls here and then starts to move to the north. And also coming into play is this frontal boundary. Now, that's good news. I think this helps to keep whatever does form up here off the coast. And I also think it means this may not be purely tropical, maybe dealing with sort of a subtropical development here. But our model does spin up that storm as we go into Monday and Tuesday, again, as this is over the Gulf Stream in the southwest Atlantic. So we'll be watching it, again, high development chance as we go into next week with that as it moves away from Florida. Meanwhile, we look out towards what we call the main development region in the Atlantic, the eastern tropical Atlantic. We have two waves here, one near the coast of Africa, one that's about halfway between, in that wave that's close to the Caribbean Sea. That's the one that models are picking up on some potential development with as we go through the next couple of days. Now, right now, it's in a pocket of Saharan air, lots of dry air off to its north. I think it's going to be battling that as we go forward here. In fact, as we go back to the satellite, note how all the thunderstorm activity is on the southern end of this thing. And I think that's mostly due to that dry air off to its north. So it's going to be fighting that off, but it is moving into a pocket of lower wind shear. So, yeah, there is a chance that something could try to spin up as we go through the next couple of days. It's a low chance for the NHC, 10% over 2 days, 20% over 5 days. Model's not wildly impressed with this. In fact, I want to show you this product. This is the ensemble forecast put out by the European forecast model. An ensemble means you take that forecast model and you tweak it a number of different ways, and then you run it all those different ways. You have these different members of the ensemble that it's called. And as those members, as you put them all together, you can see perhaps more confidence in a certain solution. So in this case, we have a 36% chance put out by that ensemble forecast model that a depression or a tropical storm, but in this case tropical depression winds, will be possible off the coast of the Carolinas by the middle of next week. Low chance with that system down there in the main development region. I also have marked on here that 4% chance. That's what's left to Chantal. Again, not likely to be a storm for much longer. And the model's also keying in on perhaps our next wave coming off the coast of Africa would have a chance too, but we'll be watching that closely. So again, some takeaways here. Chantal, nothing further to worry about with that. Going to fall apart, if not by the end of the day, over the weekend. The next wave to watch near the coast of Florida here today that has a high chance to develop. Going to bring some rain to Florida over the weekend, and we'll be watching it, especially as it gets off the coast of the Carolinas into next week. And then lastly, that wave in the main development region in the eastern Atlantic, worth watching too. Yeah, it's the most active portion of the hurricane season now, so I'll likely be back with these videos at least each week, if not a couple times a week, as conditions warrant. So until next time, I'm meteorologist Jim Dickey. Have a great weekend.